We're being joined by Peter Maguire, the CEO of AustraliaTrading.com. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Maguire. Firstly, Iran has said in the UN that they will not forget that their people have lost their lives in attacks by Israel, and they don't seem to be ready to back down from this fight now.
Well, good morning, Artie. No, exactly right. This could turn into something very protracted. We're conscious as far as the retaliation from Iran and the ballistic missiles headed for Israel, and the tit-for-tat process that this could engage. Well, one would only think, Yemen, the Houthis, what goes on across the fabric of the Middle East. So, yes, it's only early days, and let's hope that some order can be, I suppose, displayed. But at the moment, it's certainly heating up and not cooling down.
Right. Also, Mr. Maguire, of course, let's talk about the role that the United States has to play in the de-escalation between Israel and Iran, and the comments that have come out, especially from Marco Rubio, as to what he said is that this was a unilateral movement by Israel, really washing their hands and saying that they really had no involvement whatsoever in this attack of Israel on Iran.
Well, you must believe, when I listen to Marco Rubio, I take on board all of his comments, and naturally the Trump administration. And the whole framework of it is it was a surprise attack, naturally, from Israel on Iran and its facilities. And in turn, one would only expect there to be retaliation from, if you're being hit, you're going to hit back. And that's what Iran is doing. So this really creates, I think, a lot of interest to, if you're looking at the markets as far as geopolitics and naturally to the likes of crude oil. And then you look at, the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz, and whether this could, move and become quite disruptive for tankers and for oil supply across that whole region.
Right now, retaliatory strikes for tit-for-tat strikes, as they're being dubbed now, are continuing between Israel and Iran. Israel now again fighting back. What role can regional powers play at the moment, like Saudi Arabia, UAE or Turkey?
Well, I think, first off, we understand the positioning as far as President Trump and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi Crown Prince, and whether the kingdom was going to be involved in this. I would think, they're very strategically aligned, and I would think that there may not be any involvement. And similar for the UAE, though it sits right on, when you're looking at it geographically, Dubai and, of course, Abu Dhabi, and then Doha and Qatar at the other side of it. So one would hope that they don't get involved. They've got tremendous firepower, but they're also, I think, mindful of the situation. And that's what you don't want, is full all-out war across, the landscape of the Middle East. This needs to be contained, and I think that that's what, the majority of clear-thinking politicians are certainly after. And when you're thinking about Turkey, well, then that could also look at the likes of Syria. So let's just see where this goes, and one would hopefully tip cold water on the whole idea of building it. Not that's what we all need to see happen, but time will tell.
Jump in oil prices. What kind of impact is this really going to have when it comes to energy costs?
Well, you can see that when you're looking at New York, during yesterday's day trade in Asia, that was up, at some point there, 12 and 13% as far as crude oil prices to the upside. It closed in New York this morning, our time, and morning your time, at about 7.25% up for West Texas Intermediate. And that's a big move to the upside in a day, but understandably from a geopolitical standpoint and war premium built in. So one would hope that it doesn't go higher from here. But if this is a protracted battle that lasts a matter of weeks or even longer, then I'm sure that crude oil prices will jump higher from where they are currently. And that's not good for inflation, certainly not good for a country like India, nor the world's consumers.